What up, G-Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Now, in my channel and in my videos, am I no way promoting or glorifying gang activity or any type of gang action. You get nothing out of the streets, and this is coming from a gang member. You get nothing from the streets except drama, bullshit. It's better to stay in school. You know what I mean? These videos are for educational and documented purposes and for awareness. So not for glorifying or promoting or none of that. You know what I mean? Now, with no further ado, let's get into it.
Shit, I'm on that main line. We keep it active, siempre listo when it's game time. I put that OT for the bottom, how we earn stripes. Like catching enemies and leave them in a past life. Y por su lengua, that's the reason why they get sliced. They think they're tough, got the pedal and they drop dime. These fools are trapper, crave attention while they speak lies. But fuck the talking, ain't no evidence on this side. You're fucking with a straight demonio shit that don't hide.
What comes around, should we take flight? Nothing new, another day on this rough side.
But in El Vario, we don't talk, fool, we take flight. And when there's beef, fool, you know that it's on sight. Love and hate, boy, you know that's a thin line. Make the wrong pick it, flat line. Make the wrong pick it, flat line. We don't talk in the Vario, fool, we take flight. And when there's beef, fool, you know that.
Entertainment presents.
Now, this video right here was actually inspired through a comment I had seen where some youngster, I guess, had to be young, had put that he didn't need to ask the guy where he was from because the initials of the tattoo said where he was from. But the initials don't mean nothing. Just because you see the initials of something doesn't mean that automatically it must be that neighborhood. A lot of neighborhoods share similar initials. So here's just some examples, starting off with. What's good, G-Life? Now, starting off with the first similar initial neighborhood, we have to make a drive down to the IE, to the Inland Empire, to the section that is known as Corona. Corona is a large barrio located right here in Corona, the only neighborhood in Corona, one of the largest neighborhoods in the Inland Empire, with massive amount of turf. A gang of members said to be in the thousands. Now, they didn't make the largest series because it didn't give me a specific number, but roughly to be in the thousands. You know, with a lot of homies incarcerated. They've done a gang of sweeps on these guys, well documented as well. You know what I mean? Have made the news several times for all kinds of shit. You know. It be going down right here in Corona. Like I said, they're the neighborhood that dominates Corona. Now, there's set different cliques, but people think that they're the same, you know, clique, the same gang, the clique. It's not different gangs. It's the same gang, but with different cliques in different areas. But they're the first out of the CVL. CVL is a common initial that is used by several neighborhoods, or CVLS. It could be used either way by all these neighborhoods. And tattoos, graffiti, and all of that. You know what I mean? And they don't have any connections to the rest of the Vario Locos. Vario Locos is a common name that you'll probably be hearing here several more times. You know, the only difference is a different city in front of it. But that's just a coincidence. You know what I mean? They're all different neighborhoods. But, you know, I'll probably make a series about that in its own. But right here, this first CVL neighborhood, because they probably are the oldest out of all the CVLs. You know what I mean? This Corona Vario Locos has been around already for a while, set to be back to the 50s, 40s, 50s, por ahí, has said. Now, they are located in several locations of Corona. You know what I mean? You can find them throughout Rancho Corona Drive. From that, I would say it extends all the way to Surfas Club Drive. From Surfas Club Drive all the way to Kirkwood Drive. From Kirkwood Drive all the way to via Santiago you know, Avenue. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. You know what I mean? Throughout Paseo Grande, you know, is where you can find, you know, Corona. You could also find them located, their biggest chunk of territory is probably through Central Street, from Central Street all the way to 6th Street to where the freeway's at, and it extends all the way to Border Avenue. From Border Avenue, I would have to say all the way to Railroad Street. So everything that's in the middle throughout 6th, throughout 4th, obviously 4th being their main location, their main dojo, their domain. The 4th Streeters, that's why you see it up, you know, as Cuatro. That's their that's the dojo, you know what I mean? Because they run from 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, Olive, Kendall, Francis, Lorna Street, all of that is their barrio, you know what I mean? It's a big chunk of territory, and you could also find them throughout El Cerrito, throughout El Cerrito Avenue by Ontario Avenue, throughout Great View, Hillside Street, through those back ends, throughout Poppy Street, all of that is also, a little chunk of territory that they also call their home, and also located in the Home Grandes area, you know what I mean, throughout Magnolia Avenue, throughout 6, Ellis, Blair, Brotherton Street, all of that is their barrio, in Home Gardens. The Home Gardens area is also where you can find the Corona neighborhood. Like I said, Corona just has a big chunk of territory. The only neighborhood in Corona, they handle business. They put it down. They on the map. They hold it down. But this is the first out of the CVLs. Corona, Vario, Locos right here holding it down for theirs. Now, to find the next CVL neighborhood, we have to make our drive down back to LA County to the southeast portion, the area that's known as, Norwalk, Artesia, La Mirada, that section over there. Close to the Norwalk area, in Norwalk. We have the next CVL neighborhood, which is Carmelas, Vario Locos, or Carmelitas. Carmelas, Vario Locos is another CVL or CVLS neighborhood that you see up. Carmela, Vario Locos. Obviously, sounding similar to the Corona, Vario Locos. You know what I mean? But that's just how it is. Like I said, they have no connection. It's just a common theme, and initials is the same initials between these neighborhoods. And their neighborhood is located on Rosecrans Avenue, all the way to Greenstone Avenue all the way to Firestone Boulevard extending all the way to Carmelita Road, close to the Ramona Park as well. Through those back ends is where you can find the Carmelas Barrio Locos. This neighborhood is one of the well-known neighborhoods within this area. Definitely a neighborhood you hear about, you know what I mean, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods. It's a lot of beef going down over there, you know what I mean? Been already right here for a cool minute. I was at least told since the 60s, 70s por allí. But people say different things, but hey, it is what it is. But the Carmelas right here have been holding it down, representing for theirs, putting theirs on the map, you know what I mean? Obviously they're not as old as some of these other neighborhoods over here in the southeast, but don't get it twisted. They hold their ground, been holding their ground, and been doing their thing, you know what I mean? They weren't gonna let themselves get pushed over and gobbled up by these much older, bigger neighborhoods that are within the area. You know what I mean? They represent and stood firm and continue to represent this for the Carmela Barrio Locos. You know what I mean? Several clicas they have, putting it down for theirs and putting theirs on the map. Now here we have probably one of the more smallest, if not the smallest CVL neighborhoods. That gets roughly confused with several other barrios. You know what I mean? This CVL is located right here in Conejo Valley. You have the Conejo Valley Locos. Yes, Conejo Valley does have barrios. Yes, this is a real barrio, despite what people are going to want to say in the comments. Yes, you know what I mean? Don't ever get it twisted. Barrios could exist anywhere and everywhere. They are a small neighborhood, but nonetheless, they are a barrio. They have members that hold it down for theirs, that have been holding it down. Solid individuals. You know what I mean? Like I said, they may not be as large as some of these other neighborhoods, or as old school, but they hold it down for theirs. Conejo Valley, don't get it twisted, homie. It be cracking. You know what I'm saying? Going at it with several hoods. Like I said, they made headlines, you know what I mean? You can look it up yourself, like I ain't wolfing, I ain't bullshitting. They have vatos that do real things, you know what I mean? Murders be going down as well. The Conejo Valley area is not a big area in itself, roughly small. Many people don't even know where it's located. You know what I mean? You look it up, you know what I mean? It's right there by the 805 area. And they hold it down, you know what I mean? They with the business. They ain't no suckers, you know what I mean? Conejo Valley locals also use a CVL title, CVLS, like these other barrios, you know what I mean? You can find them located about where the target's at, through those back ends and throughout roughly around the area. And these guys are about their business, you know what I mean? They put theirs on the map and hold it down for theirs, they ain't no suckers. But that's what's up with the Conejo Valley locals holding it down for theirs. Now, the next one on the list, and probably roughly the newest one out of the CVLs, if we were to say CVL neighborhoods, you have, now we have to make a drive down to Compton. That's right, Compton, right here, LA County. Obviously, everyone knows the city of Compton, been put on the map, you know what I mean? You have the Compton Vario Locos, another CVLS neighborhood, within this area. Now, they're located on where their territories are by El Segundo Boulevard, by 130th Street, 131st Street, the danger zone, because there's a lot of neighborhoods right there, not only Hispanic, but Crip sets as well. It'd be going down right there close to Willowbrook Avenue. So all those units right there, you know what I mean? Not that much a bigger territory, but trust me, man, it cracks right there, homie. You know what I mean? That's a war zone, bodies drop there for free. Shit ain't no joke. And that's where you can find the Compton Vario Locos. Fun fact, they do have a tie-in with the West Side Locos from West LA. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how where you can find the CVLS, and the one over here, CVL, Compton Vario Locos. That's I'm telling you, that's just how the hoods are reading. Corona Vario Locos, Carmela, Conejo, and Compton Vario Locos. But no affiliation to each other, their own separate neighborhoods, but similar initials. So that's why you just can't go based off of initials. You know what I mean? To say that, you automatically know that this person is from this neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because like I said, a lot of neighborhoods share similar initials. Like all these neighborhoods right here. But the Compton Vario Locos has been around since I was told since the 80s. You know what I mean? The late 80s, 90s, por ahí. That's what I was told. They're not as large as some of these other neighborhoods in Compton, but they do handle their business. They are about their business. Pocos pero locos, like the saying goes, and they represent theirs and put theirs on the map. You know what I mean? And now, as we make our way down to Orange County, yes, to the OC, we're going to be taking a trip down to Garden Grove. Garden Grove is where we can find the next barrio of CVLS or CVL, which is the Crow Village Locos. Crow Village Locos being one, an old barrio, been around, I was told, since the 60s, right here in the OC. You know what I mean? And it's located on Garden Grove, right here. I would say their territory is pretty extensive. They have a pretty good chunk of territory on Kerala Avenue. I would say all the way to Santa Rosalia. Santa Rosalia, I would say it extends all the way to Chapman Avenue. From Chapman Avenue all the way to Beach Boulevard. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. Roofland Avenue was Joel Avenue was Dave Moore Avenue. I would say all the way to Orangewood, Hoppy, Santa Catalina Avenue. All of that is their barrio. All the way to Santa Rita Avenue. So all of that is their territory, which is a pretty big chunk size of territory, but this was a pretty large barrio. They're not as large as they used to be, but nonetheless, homie, there's one of these barrios in the OC that you definitely hear about, that definitely have their reputation. You know what I mean? They ain't no suckers. Like I said, old school barrio that's been putting it down. And they also use I know it's seen as Crow Village, but also Crow Village Locos. You know what I mean? It's how they write it. So that's, the CVLS. That's why when I say there's a lot of neighborhoods that use CVLS, to assume that it's one or the other is ridiculous. You just can't go based off of assumptions. You know what I mean? It's better to know than to assume. But yeah, this is another one of these CVLS neighborhoods, Crow Village Locos, and they'll be putting it down.